community center helps us learn behavior and help us respect other people wherever we go. Treat people the way you want to be treated and be responsible, respectful, and use manners.
Highland started out as the elementary school for the segregated school for African Americans. And I don't know, maybe in the 1970s or 80s, it became a school, an integrated school. And then from there, it was closed. And it was actually given to the Highland community by the county. And so then it was what to do with it. And there were a small group that got together and tried to make it a community center.
We had a house in Mount Gilead that all the concerned parents got together, and they brought the kids over on the weekends, on Fridays and Saturdays. And they got the kids together to try to help them out and, they were concerned about the kids, in school and stuff like that.
It's Mary Pemberton, a bunch of the other ones started that. And we met right up at the Lodge Hall. And it's seeing kids being mistreated or not treated like they should be treated. And a lot of times they would, especially sometimes the blacks, they would get put out of school for no reason at all. And then they needed somebody to speak up for them.
The history of this school is, it was built during the separate but equal era, and so it was an all-black school from first grade through high school. It was then converted from an all-black school to an integrated elementary school.
I was the one who integrated West, the all-white high school. I knew I wasn't wanted because tacks were placed in my seat and kids laughed at it. When I go and look in the mirror in the bathroom, the girls, I would be the only black girl in there, and so the girls would stand back and laugh at me when I looked in the mirror as though I didn't have a right to look in the mirror. And those kinds of things strip you. They make you feel as though you're standing with no clothes on. So you say, okay, I'm going to choose that which responds better to me, which means isolation and nature. And I will not deal with people. And yet you have the compassion of your mother and your father pulling on your heart, saying to love and to nurture. So I'm getting away. I'm getting away. And I stayed away.
I've seen a lot of changes in the town. As a teenager, it's when I've seen the most, because this used to be the hot spot. Mount Gilead used to be the hot spot for people. People would come here for other counties to hang out. The field behind the gym, they used to play baseball, and that was a hot spot. The car wash downtown, that was a hot spot. People just used to come and hang out. Burger Shack, people would just come and just hang out all over town. You know, what I would like to see is the town get back to being that hot spot that it was, and not necessarily in the light that it was then, but in just seeing growth, having places to go, activities for children, and I'd like to see the center be a part of that.
And I've met through Mr. Leake's program, I've met Mr. Green, Professor Green, who was the principal here, I believe.
Mr. Milford Green was our 5th grade teacher. What made him special, he was male. You didn't find many male teachers. He was professional. He dressed every day. He taught us about the value of education, and it's a little bit different than learning to read and learning to write or doing well on a test. It was about what you could do with a quality education.
I push this senior group, I give God credit for that. And when we first started, we met once a week on a Wednesday. And we did a lot of different things like color as a group. And we just kept coming up with different things that we could do.
Mary Pemberton and her posse, she had more, but she was the ringleader. But she and her buddies had the energy of a 16 or 17-year-old. It's like unbelievable how they actually did what they did. There was a lot of work to be done, not only manual work, physical work, but mental work. They did it all.
So we bring them to Charlotte just to show them a city that size, to go to the Museum of the New South, where there is a permanent exhibit that talks about cotton fields to skyscraper, helping them understand the value of what some sacrifices that folks made, and help them understand that with education, they can go even further than Charlotte. This is the Saturday Academy. It's a tutoring program that we do once a month. I think this year we have 27 students, and they are functioning maybe slightly below reading level. And we're working with them to improve their reading skill.
So is that a fact or that's someone's opinion?
That's somebody's opinion.
That is somebody's opinion.
What does that mean?
That means that what you probably learn in your classroom, that probably be on your homework, and then you probably get your homework, and then you probably get your homework, right?
Yeah, the May Day programs go back, to my knowledge, they go back to the 50s. They would have a parade every year. And they would have the maypole dance here. And they'd have vendors set up to sell food. At various times, they have basketball tournaments in connection with it. Don't know that they will this year, but that has been a part of it at various times.
This community center will be for all citizens, and we've gotten pretty good support for that effort. But that is our goal, is to make this center a center for all citizens.